Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge,
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
and let's talk horror. Now, today we are so lucky because we get to be with one of the stars and the writer-director of the new upcoming short film, Robbie Ain't Right No More, Madeleine McGraw and Kyle Perritt, also known as Kyle Perritt. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I'm
How you doing, Kyle?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is such an honor. So, for those of you that don't know, me and Ashley want to make it perfectly clear right off the bat. Everything here is approved by SAG. We are allowed to talk about this film. So that is going to be our focus here today. You guys know how amazing Madeleine is. You know how amazing Kyle is. But today we are here to strictly focus on Robbie Ain't Right No More. We would never try to interfere with any type of struck work. So, we do have their social media links down in the description as well. So if by some chance you're not following them, make sure you're following them on social media to stay up to date, not only on Robbie Ain't Right No More, but all the other projects they're going to have coming up for us here in the future.
Mm-hmm. So, Kyle, can you give us a little non-spoiler synopsis of the film?
I think the best thing I've got is a young girl's brother returns home from war with a very disturbing souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
That's
pretty good.
Literally the best way you can put it.
Yeah. I don't know
so
what else
Madeleine,
I could say.
No, go ahead, Kyle. I didn't hear you.
I said I don't know what else I could say. So
No, I mean that's pretty on point.
Yeah, that's the meat of it right there. So Madeleine, how did you get involved with the project?
I am actually very, very close with Emmy, Kyle's fiance, and she's also the producer and costumer on the short. But I've known her since I was 6 years old from working on the show that I did, Outcast. And we've stayed in touch like all these years and been so close. And so she had reached out to me and she was like, Maddie, Kyle wrote this script. It's really interesting. There's a role for you in there, and we would love for you to read it and just let us know if you would like to do it or not. And then I read it and it was super interesting. And I was like, of course, getting to work with Emmy again, and then getting to work with everyone on the film and Kyle. And it was overall such a fun experience.
That's
Right.
awesome.
And it definitely takes real life horror to another level as well. So that's something I feel like a lot of the subtext in this film is something a lot of people can identify with.
So, Kyle, thank you for your service, first of all. I just want to know, is this part of your inspiration for the film?
oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, we did definitely want to emphasize, thank you for your service. Because of brave men and women like you, cowards like me can sell auto parts and not have to worry about anything else. So thank you for your service.
Yes.
Thank you for your bravery. And I'm sure that, like I said, watching this film, once I found out that you yourself served, it made this film make a little bit more sense to us. So thank you, and to your family. I know, like Madeleine said, that you are engaged. I know when you're serving, it's not just you out there, it's your family that's going through it as well. So thank you for your bravery. We definitely notice and we appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. That's more important than any type of podcast we could ever talk about, man. Real life heroes. So thank you for everything that you did for us. Madeleine, going into this, you are a character that you've got to explore a character in a short amount of time, with this being a short film, and you make your statement pretty well known throughout the film. But what was your inspiration for your character?
She cares about her brother so much. I'd say more than the rest of her family, especially since he's come back from the war or come back from fighting. And she knows that something's wrong with him. And I feel like instead of trying to, I don't know, fight it out of him, or she wants to help him do what he needs to do to feel like his old self again, or just help himself in general.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Madeleine, okay, besides the length, what would you say the difference is between a short and like a feature length film?
You definitely have a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the biggest difference. I mean, I think we shot this in a span of what, three days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was definitely harder for me because the max I can be on set, I think, is like 8 hours.
Yeah.
So, we had to do that, and like including breaks and like lunch and everything. I'd say definitely time is the most different or hardest part about filming.
Mhm.
Sure. So with you, Kyle, being behind the camera, what's the difference for you between making a short film and a feature-length film?
I think on a short film you have more artistic freedom and less pressure from, people with money who, don't want you to just screw everything up or just go off on a tangent. I mean, if you want to see like pure director's visions, you'll find that in short films because there's not a lot of influence on,
Mhm.
there's not a lot of influence from the money people or the studio,
Right.
or there isn't any. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And what I love about that is we've worked on a short film,
Mhm.
and there's people that are like, oh, a short film, that's just an easy way out. And it's like, obviously, you've never worked on a short film before because you have a lot shorter amount of time to make people care about your characters. If you have 17 minutes and you don't have any type of character development in
Yeah.
there, you don't care what's happening to your characters. You have a shorter amount of time. You're on a shorter leash to make people care about you and care about the things that are happening in the film. So much respect to you guys for not only making a short film, but making a short film that Ashley and I enjoyed so much we watched it twice, like right back to back.
Yeah.
Amazing practical effects in some parts too. But in order for you guys to kind of have an idea about the film, we do want to show you the trailer. So let's check out the trailer real quick.
Darling, this is hard for me to talk about. We are so happy and grateful that Robbie is back. But I know you've seen it. We all have. He ain't quite the same Robbie that he was.
I wish I could explain it all to you, Sarah. I really do.
Are you saying Robbie did something bad?
I know you got pretty rattled over there, but I didn't know you got, like, wounded.
When you put a good boy like Robbie in a bad place, he might bring a piece of that place home with him, deep down inside of him. And there is nothing he can do about it, except learn to live with it.
Robbie?
I saw it, something else. Robbie, he ain't right no more.
Okay, so now that you guys have seen the trailer, and this is going to be premiering at many different film festivals in December, which I'm so excited about for you guys. And Kyle, with this being such a real and sensitive subject, how did you go about writing and directing this to keep it so genuine and real in such a moment? And like I said, such a subject that is very touchy for a lot of people. How were you able to capture the realness of this moment?
You know, honestly, I just wanted to keep myself from getting caught up into too much of the subtext or too much of the, I don't know. It's easy for writers and directors to get caught up into what they're trying to say rather than telling, a story that makes sense. So I just tried to keep it to the story that makes sense. And the subtext kind of just happens on its own, I didn't think too much about it being a sensitive subject. I think that'll prevent you from telling the story you want to tell as well if you're thinking about offending people,
Yeah.
Right. When I didn't mean to sound, I didn't think of it as offensive. I just know that, like, especially if you've been in, and I just didn't know if this was something that was harder for you to work on because you've been around it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been out long enough now to where I've had a lot of time to think about everything. I got out of the Marines in 2011, so
Okay.
yeah.
We're lucky you made it out on this side, man. Because like I
Yeah.
said, you guys are
Thank you.
heroes.
For
So
sure.
thank you for everything you did.
Thanks.
So,
Yeah, it'd
Madeleine.
been a lot different if it were right after I got out. The movie would have
Yeah.
been different, and not
Yeah.
as good. Yeah.
Man, this was amazing.
It really was.
We can't recommend it enough, guys.
Yes. Madeline, so you had a pretty explosive outburst in the film. How was it to film something like that? It's like an awesome scene like that.
It was really fun.
Mhm.
But I think that, Sarah, she's just, I mean, without giving away too much, she's kind of just so done with Andy and everyone at her family, like trying to pretend like everything's okay.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think that's
clearly,
definitely
yeah,
where
she was
yeah,
she was done with it. Yeah.
yes.
Well, and again, we don't want to give away too much, but Sarah looked to be the most hurt at this scene.
Yeah.
Like I'm young and I can read the room better than all of you.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your facial expressions, everything about that was perfect, but you absolutely
Thanks.
nailed that as well.
Absolutely.
We talked a little bit about the differences between a short film and a full-length feature. So before we let you guys go, we do have one more question for each of you. We talked about those differences, but Kyle, when you're making a short film, what is the most difficult part of the process for you?
I think acquiring the resources to be able to get it done.
Mhm.
As it is a short film, there's no return. No one's going to get any money back. The only people who are going to get anything out of it are the key people involved. So,
Yeah.
even down to you need grips. They're going to why do I want to come work on a short for 3 days in December right before the holidays?
Right.
So luckily we have a lot of friends who are grips and electric sound people. Yeah.
That's definitely not the most fun in the world, having to hold a key grip the whole time and trying to make sure that you got
You
everything
gotta
down.
be pretty strong. You're doing your, your
Right.
pull-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
So Madeline, you kind of talked about it already. It was, the time, but is there anything else that was hard for you during this short?
I don't really think so. I am gonna go off of like some of what Kyle said. I feel like it's nicer when you have people that in
Yeah.
all of these jobs, because then you could be like, oh, hey, could you come help me or whatever? And also Kyle's so experienced in so many of those fields now after working on the short film. I just feel like you learn so much from every different project.
See, and that's something I wondered too. When you're doing these projects, you're constantly learning and evolving from all the people that are around you. And we talked earlier about how this is going to be premiering at some film festivals here in December. Kyle, can you tell us some of the festivals you guys are going to be playing at?
So we premiered a Telluride Horror Show in Colorado. I think that was a week ago. And then Screamfest in LA. And then next weekend we're playing at Nightmares in Columbus. And then Film Quest in Provo. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome, man. And do we have any idea about streaming releases or anything like that as of yet, or are we a little premature on that as of now?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get it out to as many festivals as possible in 2024 before we, make it available online.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I know I said it at the beginning, guys, but all their links are down in the description as well. So the best way for you to stay up to date on what they're doing, especially with Robbie Ain't Right No More and when you're going to be able to get a release on it, is by following them down in the description. Now, my fingers are crossed just because I'm a huge fan, but is there any way that we could be getting a physical release of this in some form?
Well, I was thinking about making some holiday Blu-rays for the family. Yeah, things like that. That'll be down the road. We're going to try to shop out the short to people who might be interested in making it into a feature length thing. And that's probably the only path I could see to physical release.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that was going to be our last question, actually, is there aspirations as this becoming a feature-length film? So that gets us really excited, too, because there are so many different ways and avenues that this could go to definitely create it to become a feature-length film. So is that your end game goal, is to make this into a feature film?
Yeah, definitely.
I would definitely be there opening night to watch. So Madeline, Kyle, we want to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and answering some questions about the film. We know that your guys' schedules can be absolutely hectic. So the fact that you took some time out to kind of share your feelings about the film and some of the things you guys went through really means a lot to us. But please don't go anywhere. We got a couple more questions for you. Everybody else, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. All our links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror,
Stay who you are.
and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.